should take. Can you see my presentation?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can.
All right, now in case you don't see my presentation, please inform me, because sometimes we can lose internet connection for a second and we may lose the presentation, and I may be not aware that you are not having access to my presentation. So please, in case you don't see it, just inform me. According to you, who should take care of old people?
Children.
I think their children should do this.
Okay,
It's
so
their responsibility.
Their families.
So we have here the case of children, their children. Yes, family members.
My parents.
Okay, family members. As we may have old people who have no children. So maybe family members.
Their
in
families.
case. What?
Their families.
Our parents.
Uh-huh.
Daughters.
Maybe,
Brothers.
maybe the doctor.
Wives.
Doctors, relatives. All right. Now, in the case of Morocco, in Morocco, who generally take care of old people in Morocco? Talking about Morocco, generally speaking.
Children.
And yes, generous children's.
Yeah, their families.
Yes, children or member of. So in Morocco,
Neighbors.
generally speaking,
maybe it can be some association.
children take or member of family take care of
Neighbors can take care of elder people sometimes.
the elderly. Now, the elderly, we mean that by that old people.
Sometimes teacher we found a neighbor.
What?
Sometimes we found neighbor.
Neither what?
Neighbor who take care about some elderly. If
I mean, you mean no one. You mean no one. No one.
Yes.
Okay,
No,
because when you say
neighbors. Neighbors.
No, neighbors.
Neighbor. Sorry,
Yes.
I did not hear well. Neighbors. Yes, in case we have no family members, no children. Yeah, we have some cases where we have just neighbors. Yes. Do you think that these things are still existing in Moroccan society, or things are changing?
I think things are changing.
Yes.
I think the culture of people taking their parents to their retirement home is a growing thing, apparently. We have seen this a lot during the recent times.
Yes. All right.
Even though it is not considered something honorable to do, but it is something that people do.
Yeah, they do what? Sorry.
Take their parents to the retirement home.
To retirement home or to nursing homes. Yes. So we find that more and more taking them to nursing homes. Sometimes elderly people are taken to nursing homes. Why, in your opinion, some children take their parents to those associations or to those nursing homes?
teacher, the first thing
problems
about
Are
culture.
getting older
family
and getting
problems.
Maybe, please, I would like you, please, just to write your answers on the chat window, because there are some students who have bad quality their microphones. Sometimes I myself cannot hear well. So being busy.
in my opinion, children take parents to nursing homes because get sick, they can get ill and older, and children can't take care of them.
Yes.
Maybe they found causes of work. They say that they have work and they don't have enough time, and maybe it's because of money. They say that they don't have enough money to take care of their parents.
Okay.
Yeah, they're basically making up excuses.
Sir, can I answer?
Yes.
Some children think that it may affect their marriage, put their marriage in jeopardy. Maybe the wife doesn't want the mother to be around, or the husband that doesn't want the parent to be around. So the only solution for them is to put them in that kind of association.
So here you want to say that it may jeopardize their personal life. Please, I would prefer that you don't use your microphones. Can you switch off your microphones, please? Because this sometimes we can be disturbed. Switch off your microphones and answer just with the chat window, through the chat window. I'm sorry, I would have liked that you participate orally, but this sometimes when many students speak at the same time, we may not hear each other. So, as your friend has said, yes, sometimes the husband would not accept his mother-in-law, old and ill, be around, as your friend has said, or the other way around. And so, yes, they opt for sending them to nursing homes. Now, this is what we think about Morocco. Now, in the Western world, what is your opinion about the Western world? Generally speaking, I mean, I would like your what you know. And when we say the Western world, we mean, which is a big word actually, the Western world. We mean Occident. It is quite too general as a word, but whenever we say Western, we have in mind Europe, maybe United States. In countries, according to you, in countries like United States, I see how disturbing the students who are just joining, though I have said that normally we start at 8:30. So this time I'm accepting exceptionally late students, but please, next time I will not accept. I mean, I can wait 10 minutes, no more. Otherwise, we are just wasting time accepting each time a newcomer. So in USA, what do you think? What is your opinion about who take care of the elderly in the United States? Your real opinion. So they put their so they take. They use nursing homes. Yes, that's the opinion that we have in general. Khadija is right, because the information we have about Americans is through their films, and in films we see old people in nursing homes. Yes, okay. Yes. Is a usual phenomenon. Usual. Pay attention what meant. Usual. Yes, Hanan. So maybe this is the opinion we have, that we don't need longer. Yes, so this is the opinion, the general opinion we have, that Europeans, Americans in general, send their parents when old to nursing homes. Now, the text we will see shows completely the opposite of this widely accepted opinion. And that shows that every society has some value judgment about other societies, opinions that are not always true. Okay? And we say that Arabs think this way, Europeans think this way. These generalizations are not correct. They are stereotypes. Yes, Yassine. So here, these are what Yassine has mentioned. Stereotypes, widely believed things that are not necessarily true, and we think that it's true, though we have never visited, for example, United States. Maybe what we see in television, it can represent sometimes life in those countries, but it does not represent 100% the situation there. So my goal in this course is that I would like you please to stop having general opinions about others. Okay? Yes, now here Nuhaila is giving a good example, believing
Sorry,
that...
sorry, sir. Can you?
Yes? Yes? Want to say something?
Yes, sir. Can you repeat what?
I forgot.
Heard you well.
I forgot what I was saying. Now, what we said stereotypes. I want you to stop having those general opinion about others and believing that it's true. Okay? Whenever you fall in generalization, you judge other people. It is most of the time mistakes. So people everywhere are human. Okay? It's like if you say Americans are bad people. We may say that. You can hear people saying that sometimes, or you can say that people belonging to a given country are out of date or are not civilized. We hear things like that, and unfortunately we believe, which is a big mistake. So everywhere, wherever you go, you can find people of different types. Okay, of course, in societies they may have common points, but should not reach the point of having those false generalizations that lead to stereotypes, to value, judgment. Okay, judging without proof. Okay, now here Nuhaila is giving a good example, believing that Africans are black. Many people in the Western world may think that African people are all black, which is not the case. Okay, the best example is Morocco. In Morocco, we have both black people and white people, and we are, just to remind you, that we are Africans. Why I'm saying that? Because we can hear from time to time some Moroccans complaining about the big number of people coming from other African countries, saying, which is a racist attitude, saying those Africans should go back to their homes. Moroccans talking about this way. We forget that we are Africans too. It's as if we think that we are Europeans. We are not Europeans. We are Africans. Yes, again, a stereotype mentioned by Nuhaila, Muslims are terrorists. This is, again, a stereotype, something that you can hear a lot. You can hear a lot in Western media sometimes, and not always. Okay, now what I want to yes, Arabs are Muslims. That's again a good example. Now here, a funny story that happened to me when I was in Lebanon quite a long time ago, in 1994. I went to a church just to see how things are happening inside and sit inside. And I was surprised that the priest who was giving his sermon in Arabic. And now here it was a shock for me. For me, a Moroccan, Christians must speak French, English, but not Arabic. And then when I went to Lebanon, I discovered that, and that was for me at that time, young, was surprising. Okay, so in Lebanon you can find Arabs who are Christians, Arabs who are Jews, just as the case in Morocco. Especially for Jews, it was a little bit acceptable in Morocco. Jews, Moroccans, and even Jews in Morocco used rarely to speak Arabic. They used to speak French sometimes, rarely speak Arabic, though they can. So these are stereotypes that we change. We have to change. And since you are learning, speaking a different language, the first thing that you have to learn is to accept differences and not to overjudge people and put them all in the same basket. You can hear Moroccans saying all Moroccans are bad people. You can hear some Moroccans saying that. We forget that the person who is speaking is also Moroccan. Yes, men are strong physically. Yes, that's another stereotype. Men and women, they experience have proved that they can perform more or less the same roles. Of course, there are differences, biological differences between men and women, but of course, anyone who would like to do something, he can be. I mean, if a woman would like to play box, we have women practicing this sports. Yes, guys are unclean, messy. Men drive better than women. Yes, we have many examples, especially that has to do with gender. And you, as university students, please stop saying those judgments, those opinions without giving any, without having any proof about that. So whenever you are with someone, you judge the person in front of you, okay? Because the person in front of you is unique, okay? It's not because we believe that women, now coming back to the example of men driving better than a woman, I have a story, a real one, that happened to one of my friends in Casablanca. He was in his car, and there was a girl in her car, and she touched his car just a little, and she went. I mean, she went at very fast, and he followed her. He said, "How come a woman touching my car and she was able to go away without even saying I'm sorry?" And he followed her from one street to another, and while driving behind her, she was really an expert woman, an exception according to many men, driving very well from one street to another. He was following her at very quickly, and suddenly she was able to escape, and there was another car, and he got an accident with another car, a very important one, a very dangerous accident. And what is surprising is that when he checked his car, I mean, the first contact that he had with that first, the car of the woman, I mean, was not that clear. So it's because the man with capital M inside him, the pride of man, that led him follow that woman, and then it led him to have a serious accident, which is again due to those value judgment, to those stereotypes. And yes, men have more accidents sometimes. Yes, we believe that men are not cautious as Jews in Morocco. Yes, Jews. Yes, Jews. We say this is how we write them. Jews. There were. Personally, I have no contact with them, but we used to see them. My origins are from Meknes, and in this city, we used to have prayer places for Jews, which was interestingly next to a mosque in Meknes. And we used to see them wearing black clothes on Saturday, which is corresponding Friday in for Muslims. But anyway, now back to what we were talking about. That's the goal, to stop those stereotypes concerning everything. Okay, never judge through what is told to you, or again, some judgment that we say, for example, about Morocco. Some Moroccans would say Morocco is the worst country in the world. You can hear people saying that. Some Moroccans, unfortunately. Okay, or again, some Moroccans would say Morocco is the best country in the world. So both statements are not correct, because they have extreme opinions. In Morocco, we have very beautiful things, very interesting things to be seen. Yes, but Morocco is definitely not the best country in the world, and not the worst country in the world. And it depends on how you define the best. If you mean by the best where you have your friends, your family, etc., definitely it's the best. But if you're talking about nature, about historical monuments, about sightseeing. Every country, even the country that you underestimate, you'll find very beautiful things to see. And personally, my dream is to be able to see as many countries as I can, including countries that people don't think about. For example, I would dream to visit some African countries. I'm sure that there'd be many things to be seen, and very interesting experiences. Yes, so everything is relative, so that we don't over generalize. Now back to our text. We will start with the first question. It has to do with the vocabulary. Normally you are supposed to have done the exercise so that we don't waste time in class. We start with the first one. Occasionally, what did you find? What is the word which is the best according to context? According to context. Oh yes, sir. So I see that it's majority have said sporadically, which is the correct word. I don't know how students came to words like frequently, but you have to check a dictionary to see the difference. What is the difference between frequently and occasionally? Who can tell me? You write your... Why it's impossible to be frequently the... Yes, it's the opposite. Actually, frequently is the opposite. Something which is regularly done, frequently, daily basis, regularly, yes. So automatically it's not the right. How come that you have checked your dictionaries and you have come up with this answer? So if you want, you can put another word for frequently, like regularly, for example. Okay. So the word is sporadically, okay? Now, fictitious. Oh. So legendary, mysterious. And here it means, as many of you have opted for, legendary. All right. Eventually, maybe you write numbers so that we are sure that we are answering the same question. Write the number and your answer, okay? So just write number 3 and your answer. Eventually, yes. Okay, the others. It is not probably, it is ultimately. All right. Now, number 4. Require. Yes, the others. Good. It's on purpose that I'm telling you to rewrite to make sure that you remember the right spelling. Okay, necessitate. It's a necessity. 5, available. Books which are available somewhere. Good. Accessible. Yes. Number 6. Likely. Of course, according to the context. Remember that the same word may have different meanings, but you have to check the meaning according to the text. Yes, likely, expected, not compelled. What do you mean by compelled? Yes, compelled means forced, obliged. Okay, but here likely we mean expected. Number 7, savings. Talking about savings, when I talk about money, the money you put aside for later use. Yes, it's reserves. Good. With S. Huda. Because reserved, it's another word. 8. Cooperative. Yes. Helpful. Good. Right. So maybe if you did, though you have used the dictionary, you can give a mark for yourself, for a point for each good answer. And maybe you can do it because you see these are previous exams. Maybe I would prefer that whenever I give you next text to do, you do it as if you are in an exam. Okay, and then you put it aside, and then when you finish, then check a dictionary and correct, and then you can give a mark to yourself, because you know the marks that can be given or the points given to each correct answer. Now 9, potential. They will see whenever we accept someone, I have to scroll down again. You see how it is disturbing to accept each time a newcomer. Potential future. Yes. Ten. Assertive. Assertive means being insistent. Yes, to insist. Okay. And no, we have some situations, for example, I'm saying some situations so that I don't, again, fall in the trap of generalizing. You can have a family, all right? A mother who is old, yes? And this mother has 5 children. And those 5 children are all adults, having a good situation. They work, etc. They have their homes, etc. But most of the time, there is only one child, one of her children, who takes care of her, which is, I would say, unfair. What do you think? An old mother who has 5 children who are old, who have their families, etc., and who are well-to-do. But in many situations, you find that one daughter, for example, who is taking care always, and maybe this mother lives just with this daughter, while well, of course, there should be no between brothers and sisters. Normally, we should not go into because it can lead to conflicts and to problems. To say, but it would be good if brothers and sisters help each other in taking care of old people. Why not? But again, as one of your friends has mentioned that she is proud of, I mean, yes, when you take care, you know, when you make good to something, to someone that even you don't know, this person is happy, and this happiness is reflected on you. And this is the highest level of happiness that we can achieve. Let alone if you take care of your father or your mother, and this mother or father is happy. You can imagine, yes, normally all the children should take care of their parents when they are old. But you can find sometimes one who take the gold medal in being the closest, the best, and it's not easy, because it's you know, even in our sacred book, the Quran, God asks children to take care of their parents. But there is no verse in which it is mentioned that parents should take care of their children, because this is something taken for granted. It's rare to find parents who don't take care of their yes, yeah, are we? Unfortunately, we have those cases, especially when you see an old person begging in the street, and you know that this old man or this old woman has many children, and no one is taking care of them. I hope that these are but exceptions. Now, comprehension questions. Look at question number 1 and write your answers. And we keep on having students trying to, up to the last minutes of the course, we have cases like that. I don't know what is their problem. I hope that they have an acceptable reason for being so late. So what is presented as a myth opposed to reality? Yes, I'm waiting for most of the answers are good, but I would like more participation, and then I will opt for one answer as an example. Yes, so Nuhaila is giving a good answer. And this is a myth. This is not correct. We have this stereotype about the Western world that in the West people take their parents to nursing homes, which is a myth. There, pay attention to the spelling of there. With strangers. This is not correct. And it is not based on opinions. Here it is based on research. Okay, it's like if you say in Morocco, we can notice that it's more and more people sending their parents to nursing homes, but needs research. Okay, statistics to come to an objective answer. And even in United States, which is the example of a Western society where we believe, or a big part of Moroccans believe that Americans, they don't care about family. Maybe they don't have this. They don't pay attention to their parents, which is a big mistake. Okay, according to statistics, of course we have nursing homes in the United States. Okay, we have children who send their parents to nursing homes, but they remain a minority. So this is a myth. Okay, it's like some stereotypes, like Americans or Western people, they worship money. They can do anything for money. But maybe this idea we got it from films, but it's not necessary that it is a true thing that you can really witness. Maybe you can find, and we believe again that Muslims, we have this belief that Muslims help, give money to the poor, etc. Who knows? I mean, we don't have studies about that, research. Donation associations or associations of charities in the Western world, you have many, and many stories of people who give a lot. It's not little, lot of money to help. And they are Europeans, they are Americans. So again, the idea that Westerners are worshippers of money, they care just about themselves. Well, we can have cases like that, but it's not true to generalize. Now, question number 2. So all the answers that are around this are correct, or that look more or less like the answer provided by your friend are correct. Now, number 2. State some of the changes concerning the American family that Samuel Preston noticed during the course of his studies. There is a change. Yes. No, Karima, if it's not the opinion given.
That's it.
Okay, so here the answer of your friend. By the age of 40, Americans have, the average American has more parents than kids. You know, when you are 40, if suppose that you are, you married at the age of 20, so your children reach the age of 20 when you are 40, and though they can be grown up, and then what you take care of are not your kids, but rather your parents, your mother or your father. Especially now, this is something, again, myself, I have noticed in countries like France, is that people marry young, especially among, maybe you can notice this among your family. If you have a family living in France, this is the country I know more or less, been to this country many times. I have lived for a short time there. Moroccans marry young. And of course, when you marry young, you have your children young, and then they grow up very quickly. And then you at the age of 40, 45, your children are grown up. They don't need you much as they were kids. Who needs you more are your parents. Whereas the average age of marriage in Morocco is getting higher. What is the average age of marriage for men in Morocco, in your opinion? At what age most Moroccan men marry, according to statistics? Yes, so 30s, at the 30s. So men, and this age in the past, if you ask your grandparents, men used to marry. But it's very funny what Salma is saying. Men can marry at every age. Well, I don't know whether it is true stereotype or a fact. Well, it depends. I know personally some men who did not marry when they were young, and when they reach the age of 50, though they have a job, etc., they can marry, but it becomes even hard for a man to marry when he is old. It's like he is accustomed of being alone, because marriage mean responsibility more. Okay. So generally speaking, in Morocco, now the marriage age of men is higher, starts at the age of 30s. And look at just members of your family, all the men who has just married, how old are they? You can notice that it is so Salma, if your father has married at the age of 42, it is higher than the average according to Moroccan statistics. Okay, or maybe is an exception. Sometimes for good reasons that some people don't marry at an early age, because they would like to be prepared. And the big mistake that many do is that before marriage, you would like to have a house, a car, a television, a fridge, everything before marriage. While look at parents in the past. You can marry and go step by step. Nothing comes at once except death. Why not have, because nowadays you can have everything at once if you want by taking credits from banks, but you know the consequences of credits. Now you can have a young couple, in the first day they have everything, an apartment, which is bought, of course, via credit. They can have a car, they can have television, fridge, washing machine, everything. And of course, when people visit them, they say, wow, they are just married and they have everything. They don't know that they have to pay for the whole life money to the bank with interest. So why not buying, saving, and then buying a television, saving for some time, and then buying a washing machine, and then you enjoy and you like what you have because it took you some time to get it. But when you get something quickly, you take it for granted, and we think that it's a normal thing to have, which is not the case. All right. Now, what I would like you to remember is that in any society, changes are the norm rather than the exception. Okay? No society is as it was since for many years, or for because life is changing. Now, if you just ask your parents the way they have lived, or your grandparents the way they have lived, you can remark that there is a big difference, and that Moroccan society is undergoing great changes. Some are positive, some may be negative, but change is something that we cannot avoid. It's like a tsunami coming. Maturity has nothing to do with age, by the way. Okay, you can have a girl who is 16 and who behaves as a woman who has 40, very mature. And you can have a man who is 50 years old and who behave like an adolescent. So maturity, again, is something that we can judge each individual alone. All right? Of course, we have said that according to statistics, men are married at the age of 30s, women in general at a lesser age, 25, 24. Okay, but I mean, it does not mean that if you are 30 as a woman, or if you are 40, it means that you will not be able to marry. Okay, it's better many situations to wait, because the mistake that some women do is that sometimes, because there is the pressure of society, the pressure of the family, the pressure of age, that she may accept someone though she's not really convinced. And this is a big decision whose repercussions are for life. That's why you have to think deeply before accepting someone for marriage. Wait, don't jump very quickly. Even if you feel, more or less between inverted commas, that you are growing old, but old, as I told you, is something relative. Okay, I would prefer that a woman wait to marry at till the age of 35 or 40 and to marry the right guy, or to marry at the age of 17 and to marry the wrong person. Yes, that's why you have to, well, society, you should not take care a lot about. So if you pay attention to what people are saying, you will do nothing in your life. And of course, you have to listen to the people around you who like you, who think about, but not, don't listen to everyone. I mean, there are people who take care of you, parents, especially sisters, brothers. These are the persons who stupid beliefs. Yes, we have those beliefs. That's as in all societies. But you have a mind to use, okay? Before taking a decision, an important decision like marriage, you have to think deeply, okay? And then you decide. Now, look at question number 3. What conclusions? I understand. So we come back to the idea of stereotypes. You have to believe in yourself. And of course, not to take stupid or silly or illogical decisions. But of course, why not take the advice of older people, especially those who care about you, and to take a decision, your final decision at the end. Now, what conclusions did the researchers come to in their inquiry about caregivers? The conclusion. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have an answer, and check before sending, spelling. So they have found that all caregivers share a common characteristic and believe that they are the best for the job. All right, and this is true. Who else would take care better than children? If your father or your mother is old, who knows her well? Who knows your mother well, except her children? Who knows what she likes, what she doesn't like, the food she prefers? These are things that are best known by, and whatever the professionalism of people working in nursing homes, whatever their engagement in their job, they can never do it as children will do the task for their parents. That's why it be better for old parents to be taken care of by their own children. Of course, in cases where it's impossible, when there is no way, nursing homes should be the last resort, okay? The last option in case it is impossible. Good. Number 4. Write your number and then try to write the answer, please. according to the text, why do people prefer to rely on themselves? Pay attention, this is a mistake done by some students, is that sometimes they are given questions, comprehension questions, and they answer them giving their opinion. Unless you are told, in your opinion, what do you think? But in many situations, the questions given, the answer should be inspired from the text. Okay. And now here, this is something special about life in United States. The cost of life in United States is very, very expensive. And now again here, if you decide to live in another country, for example, United States, you may hear, for example, someone or you go to internet and say, what is the average salary of an American? And you find that it's very high compared to the salary that you can get in Morocco. But when we don't live there, we don't ask ourselves about the life cost in United States. If you give me a high salary, but whatever I want to do is very expensive, at the end, it's all the same. All right? So yes, services are very expensive. Hospitals are very expensive. And also taking your father or your parents to those nursing homes, many of them are not public, where the children have to, if the parents can afford, they can pay for themselves. If not, it's their children who can pay. Yes, Selma, what is your question? Can you write your question, please? Or you can say it as you like. SMIG, this is French. Yes, the lowest or the average, the lowest salary, yes, is very high compared to the lowest salary in Morocco. But if you want to have lunch, for example, in Morocco, how much does it cost? If you want to have lunch in the United States, how much does it cost? This is how you can calculate the real value of money. All right? You want to paint your house. How much you have to pay the painter in the United States? How much you have to pay the painter in Morocco? That's what makes a difference. Now, what do you notice in films, in American films, in European films in general? You can see in many films that the husband and wife are painting their houses themselves. And you, as a Moroccan watching the film, you say, well, that's romantic. The husband with his wife, they are very smiling, very happy, painting their own homes. Don't forget that they are painting their homes because it's very expensive to call a painter. That's why they save money, and they maybe in many situations they cannot call a painter. It becomes something that only rich people can do, and they prefer to paint their houses No, contractions. Selma is asking about contractions. No, in reading comprehension, writing with the contraction is not a big deal. Okay, and even normally in writing, in essay writing, form writing, it is preferable to use full forms. Okay, I personally don't penalize for contractions, and no teacher would penalize for contractions in comprehension, in reading comprehension, because here what matters, and you see here that I did not correct, because I would say that it is acceptable. Okay, but in writing, I would prefer, in essay writing, I would prefer that you don't use contractions. Yes. What do you mean by start back? Yes, Sin. I mean, if you want to drink a coffee, yes, but you don't decide about the price of life expenses through a cup of coffee. It's more than that. Yeah, so it's Starbucks is a chain of coffee shops. It depends now, but if you go to a dentist, in the United States, would you pay the same as if you go to a dentist in Morocco? For sure, no. It is more expensive. Well, it depends. What do you mean by expensive? All right. So it's another lifestyle. It's another system. Maybe you can get more money when you live in a foreign country, but would you live the same lifestyle? For example, if we consider Moroccans who are living in France, if you compare the first generation, I'm sure you have someone from your family who used to live in France. First generation, what they have done, most of them build houses in Morocco. That's true. But why were they able to buy houses? Because they were living in France the way they would live in Morocco. Okay, so there were no holidays. The only holiday they have is coming to Morocco. No restaurants, because in Morocco at that time going to a restaurant was not part of our culture, etc., etc., etc. Okay, look at now the new generation, their children. Were they able to build houses? Very few, and many instead even came to sell the houses built by their parents when they die. Because those young people now would like to have a French lifestyle, which is traveling, not just to Morocco. You can see now young Moroccans living in France, traveling to Mexico, to Brazil, to Dubai, especially now that it's getting less and less expensive from Europe to travel to those countries. If you have that Western lifestyle, at the end you save nothing. Whatever you gain, you spend. So it's also about the way you want to live. Okay, now question 5, please. Maybe here, if you find the answer in the text, yes. If not, you can give your opinion. Yes, Shaima, I would opt for your answer. Personally, I think taking care of all people aside from religion is a big responsibility to handle, that's for sure. And in many times it can be painful. It's very hard, especially when they are ill. It is a big responsibility. And we have to agree about that. But giving them attention, providing them with their needs, and making sure they are safe here with you, make you feel, I would say, nostalgic is not the right word, satisfied. There is that deep satisfaction that you can gain or that you can attain from taking care of your parents. And who knows, we always have this in mind, that who knows, tomorrow I will be older too. Would I find my children to take care of me, or would I be left in a nursing home, or worse, would I be left in the street, as we can see many old people around nowadays begging? It's a pity to see those cases. And we have some cases. That's why we should not judge, or we have cases, I've heard, of some old people who refuse to be taken care by their children, who prefer to beg because they discovered by begging they can get a lot of money, and their children don't want to beg and they just run away. I mean, they say, leave me alone, and he go out and he beg and he makes a lot of money, and he thinks that in this way he will have a better life. So we have all situations in the society, and it's difficult to judge. I mean, in many situations we blame children, while sometimes, in maybe there are not many cases, but in few cases we can find that some parents are responsible of the situation in which they are. Yes, so it is both satisfying and painful. Yes. Big responsibility. Remember that all the people, we say it in our society, they look like kids. and of course they need a lot of care, a lot of love more, but it can be, if we are successful in doing that, it can be very satisfying, can reach a very high level of satisfaction. Now we move to paraphrasing. Try to write number 1, and here I will, as usual, copy 2 answers from 2 students, and then we compare which is the best. Okay, number 1. So we just copy Okay, now stop writing, please. Let's look at number 1. And here we have number 2. Answer number 2. Your remarks about number 1. Is it a good way to paraphrase? First, content. Tell me about the content. But remember, paraphrasing, you should rewrite the sentence as it is. I mean, keeping the meaning without adding or deleting. Yes, now here Yassine suggests the remaining days of their lives. Yes. Okay, the remaining of their time. Better, the remaining days of their lives. Yes. Is there any other remark? Yes, no need for there. No need, you're right. Yes, seen. Now here we have mentioned it. They are abandoned for the remaining days of their lives. What about in the care of other people? In, is this correct? With foreigners, simply with foreigners. Yes, so what's the problem? Yes, you can change as you like. You can change the structure. You are not obliged to follow the original structure. What matters is that you keep the original meaning. Okay? You keep the meaning. To be cared maybe by foreigners, by unknown people. They are abandoned for the remaining days of their lives to be cared for. Cared of by other people or unknown, because you have strangers. This is very important, or unfamiliar, unknown, or unfamiliar people. Yes, what about the second one? Do you have any opinion about the second one? Unknown, sorry. Number 2. Or non-relative, yes? Yes, now here they are left there in the hands of strangers for the rest of their lives. Well, now here, of course, the student has taken the idea from, because what we mean here actually is nursing houses. It can be accepted, though it's not really mentioned, but it is understood. Left in the hands of strangers, of course, where? In nursing houses. Yes, which information, Khadija, you think should be deleted? Nursing houses. Yes, if you delete, it's not a big problem. Though if you keep, I would accept, but it's not. We may delete, no problem. In nursing houses, if we stick really to the original sentence, though it can be accepted, as I told you. People are placed with people they don't know, I mean strangers. Yes, you don't need other than their family members or friends, people they don't know, because that would be redundant. If they don't know, automatically they must not be members of their family. Okay. But what about perpetually? This she has or he has paraphrased the rest of their lives. Does perpetually means has this meaning? What do you think? Always, for the rest of their life. So when we say something is perpetual, something that never ends, okay? Whereas life or life ends, has an end, and nothing is related to our life is perpetual, okay? Maybe till they pass away would be better, because that shows that there is an end. Because when it's perpetual, it means it never ends, which is not correct, or it's not that close to the original meaning. Yes, till they pass away. Now here the suggestion of Jalal, till they pass away would be better. All right. Now, which sentence you consider as better? Now, if you say unfortunately, we don't have this unfortunately, a word which means the same in the original sentence. So unfortunately is not appropriate at all. Here, your friend has used perpetually to replace the rest of their lives. And we said that perpetually means something that never ends, while life has an end. And the end of life is death. That's why I preferred the suggestion of your friend, till they pass away, which means till they die. First paraphrasing, yes. So the first one was better. We did not delete much, but both are acceptable. And you see how difficult is it for the teacher to decide about the right paraphrasing, and that's why it takes us a long time to correct, especially paraphrasing exercise. Okay, so maybe I will now delete what is deleted, keep just okay. Now here old people, though, if you want to avoid problems here, you can keep they as if you don't know what they are talking about. They placed in nursing. We said that it's possible to delete with people they don't know till they pass away. Oh, here we have two acceptable ways of paraphrasing. Number 1. Okay. Now, what do you remember from today? Do you have any questions about what I have said today? Do you have any questions? I'm really surprised about the small number of students who are participating. I don't know where they are. Yes. No, Hayya, to improve what? Paraphrasing, the way to paraphrase. Yes. Now, of course, to be successful in paraphrasing, you need to have a rich vocabulary. Okay? Because that's, you understand, but how can you restate in your own words if you don't have a rich vocabulary? And how you can enrich your vocabulary is by working on as many texts as you can. So the more you work on text, so the text I'm giving you are not enough. You can find text everywhere. So wherever you have a text, you can opt for any sentence, okay? Any sentence, and simply try to rewrite it. And I would prefer, as I said before, to work with friends, okay? You can choose a text, so maybe you can look for on the net for any text with questions, then choose any sentence to paraphrase. Try to do it without a dictionary first. Compare your answers with your friends, and you will discover a lot. You will be helped a lot. You will learn from your friend. You will discover that your friends know some words that you are not aware of, and this is how you can enrich your vocabulary. It is so early. You think that 8:30 is so early? How come? How come? I mean, we have to wake up. You don't have time for sleeping. I'm sorry. No time for sleeping. The night is so long, and I think it's more than enough for sleeping. And anyway, you don't have time for that. You need to wake up and to work as much as you can to succeed. All right. And remember that it is possible to get a job provided that you are among the best. So your goal should be to be among the best. And so you just work on yourself, even with forgetting the others. You just say to yourself that I have every week at least to work 2 texts or more. Next course will be, inshallah, next time at the same hour. Okay, so every Thursday at 8:30, those who can wake up in the morning. Yes, I've tried to use the ENT platform, but some students complain that they could not join. That's why I am here using Google Meet. But in case we have no problem with the platform, we may go back to it. And I will put whatever we do in whatever we do, we'll put it in I will put it in Google Classroom so that you can have access to in case you did not take notes. Okay, so I would say goodbye for now. I will also tell you about the next text. So we have stopped in 1. Next time we will finish the remaining sentences in paraphrasing, and we start a new text that I will put on Google Classroom so that you can prepare for next time. Take care of yourself. Goodbye.